In this video, I'm gonna teach you how 10 years of stand-up comedy taught me to be a better voice actor. And I'm gonna give you the exact principles you can use to up your voiceover skills, even if you've never been on stage. And by the way, these aren't just comedy tips. These are performance fundamentals that will make you more bookable and engaging and honestly, more money in voiceover. And by the end of this video, you're gonna understand why some voice actors just sound better than others and how to be one of them. So who the hell am I? Why am I qualified to tell you this? My name is Jesse Carroll. I'm a professional voice actor and coach. I've done over 2,000 voiceover commercials. I've made over $1 million in voiceover. And I'm also the narrator of Backroad Truckers on History and Hulu channels, even though I think it's canceled now. But before all that, before the voiceover, before Backroad Truckers, before the 2,000 commercials, I was a professional comedian for 10 years. I also booked comedians. I ran comedy rooms. I also performed at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival in Australia for 2 years in a row, which is really fucking hard to get into. I lived and breathed comedy. I said Melbourne, by the way. That's what they call it, not Melbourne. I've also worked with a lot of known comedians, but I'm not gonna name drop any of them right now because this isn't about who I know. This is about how I can help you get better at voiceover through comedy. Oh, by the way, I'm also the founder of VoiceOver School, where we help voice actors get started, book their first client, go full time, and even earn 6 figures and beyond, and also get nominated for awards. So if that's the kind of thing that interests you, check the links below. And by the way, if this is the kind of behind the scenes insight into what actually makes voiceover work is helpful to you, smash the like button, subscribe, and ring the notifications bell. Notifications bell? Notification bell. I'm all over the map today. I only had one coffee. It was hours ago. Okay, so the biggest thing comedy taught me was timing. And I'm not just talking about knowing when to pause for a laugh. In stand-up, timing is everything. You learn to feel the rhythm of the room, you know? You know when to speed up, when to slow down, when to let a moment breathe, when to hit them with a punchline. It's a skill. You develop it over time, and it's super duper duper important. That translates directly to voiceover. Every single script has a rhythm. Every piece of copy has moments that need to breathe, moments that need a punch. Most voice actors read copy like they're just getting through it. But comedy taught me to find the musicality in words, to understand that the space between words is just as important as the words themselves. When I'm reading a commercial script, I'm not just delivering information. I'm taking the audience on a journey, set up, build, payoff, just like a joke structure. So timing is super, super, super important. And here's something most people don't understand about comedy. You have to fully commit to every bit, even if it's stupid, even if it makes you feel dumb. Even if you're doing a bit about airline food. Everybody hates airline food. It's a cliche. Everybody has jokes about it. You can't half-ass it. You can't be embarrassed about it. You have to believe in the moment that the airline food is the most important thing in the world. That's where the joke comes from. By the way, if you're a comedian, don't do jokes about airline food. It's overdone. Let it go. This is the same thing in voiceover. If you're reading copy about drain cleaner, you can't phone it in. You have to find a way to genuinely care about that drain cleaner. You have to commit to the reality of the script. Drain cleaner, I love you. That was weird. Comedy taught me that the audience can smell insecurity from a mile away. If you don't believe in what you're saying, neither will they. I see voice actors all the time who are technically good, but they're not booking because they're not fully committed to the copy. They're reading it like this is just a job, instead of this is the most important message in the world right now. You don't have to overdo it. And don't shoot your energy outwards, just believe it internally. And the way your voice sounds will follow along. And the people listening will believe it too. And when you actually believe what you're saying, you connect more with the audience. And there is an audience in voiceover, but you don't talk to them like an audience. You talk to them like one person. Let me take that to stand-up. In stand-up, here's what I learned about connecting with an audience. You don't perform for a crowd. You talk to the audience as if it's one person, just like voiceover. When I'm on stage, I'm not talking to 200 individual people. I'm talking to the audience as if they're one entity, one person. I'm having a conversation with that one collective person. Because if you try to talk to everyone as separate individuals, you end up talking to no one. It becomes general, generic, and people just tune out. That's exactly how voiceover works. You're not reading to the audience. You're talking to one person, usually your best friend, but it can be anybody really. But I like best friend because you let your guard down and you talk to your best friend how you really are. You open up to them. That's what you need to do in voiceover. And also be careful about talking to your parents or to your kids because you usually talk up or talk down. That's not good either. Right on the same level. best friend. And make sure you're not blasting it out into the microphone in a general direction. You're having a direct conversation with that one specific person who's listening to the commercial while they're driving to work or taking that e-learning course at their desk, mindlessly drinking coffee, praying for it to end. Unless you're a good VO, then they're gonna love listening to it. You know, comedy taught me to make that connection feel personal and intimate, even when you know thousands of people might hear it. And here's the key. Like Rick Rubin says, you don't do it for other people. You do it for yourself first. You have to find your own truth in the material, but then you deliver that truth directly to one specific person. I'm very handsy today. I like that I got all this room now. You know, I got a new lens on the camera, so it does make me look buff. Comedy's hard. Here's something people don't realize about stand-up. You write your own jokes and you say them over and over and over again. It's not coming off the top of your head, but it needs to sound like it is. You can perform every night in one place for a month doing the same jokes. Hopefully not every night, but a lot of the time, yeah. But you need to make it sound like you just thought of it, like it's just like for the first time, it's just coming off the top of your head. It's the first time you ever thought about it. That's exactly what voiceover is. You're reading copy that someone else wrote that you've probably read multiple times during the audition process, but it needs to sound like these are your thoughts. They need to sound like they're coming off the top of your head in real time. Comedy taught me how to take rehearsed material and make it feel just spontaneous. How to find something new and familiar in every single word every time you say them. Now I want to talk to you guys about something called the pregnant pause. In comedy, the pause is everything. We call it the pregnant pause because it's full of potential. Stupid joke. The audience knows something's coming and that anticipation is part of the joke. It's the pregnant pause. Deliver a pause before the punchline. But it's not just about the anticipation. It builds drama. It makes people lean in and listen closer. So when you do drop the punchline, whether it's a product name or maybe it's an actual joke in an ad, it'll be funnier. Or it'll have more impact. I use pregnant pauses all the time in voiceover. Not just like random pauses here and there, but like strategic ones that build anticipation or let an important point land. Listen to any great commercial and you'll hear it. This summer, everything changes. You know, something like that was a bad example, but something like that. That pause isn't just dead air. It's building anticipation and drama. See what I did there? Comedy taught me that silence can be more powerful than the words themselves. That sometimes the most important part of your performance is what you don't say. You like that? In stand-up, you learn that everything needs to be slightly bigger than real life. Not fake, but heightened. You take real emotions, real situations, and amplify them just enough to make them funny. Same principle applies to funny voiceover ads. There are a lot of funny voiceover commercials out there, and you've got to be able to understand how to be funny in order to book them. Comedy taught me how to find that sweet spot. Big enough to be engaging and funny, but not so big that it becomes cartoonish. And by the way, do not heighten your authentic commercial voiceover reads. Just talk to them like you're talking to your best friend, and this is an ear. If you want to get better at funny voiceovers, study stand-up comedians. Watch how they build to a punchline. Notice their timing, their commitment, the rhythm. Then apply those same principles to commercial copy. The voice actors who can do funny well make serious money because not everyone can do it. It's a specialized skill that comedy taught me, but you can learn it too. You just got to put in the work and study comedy. It's easier than you think. Here's something comedy teaches you that nothing else can. How to fail publicly and just keep going. I have done that so many times. In stand-up, you bomb. It's not a question of if, it's when. And you do it when you're getting paid. You know, you get on stage, you tell your best material, and silence. Crickets. People checking their phones. You thought you were going to crush. You got nothing. But you learn to push through it. Or you cry on stage and never do comedy again. You learn that one bad set doesn't define you. You learn to analyze what went wrong, adjust, and try it again. That resilience is crucial in voiceover, and it's a lot easier to get through because you don't have people literally in the moment telling you you suck, like in stand-up. In voiceover, here's the thing. You're gonna get rejected a lot. You're gonna do auditions that you think are perfect and never hear back. People in my community talk about it all the time. They're like, Jesse, I crushed that audition. I heard nothing. Happens. It's just part of the job. You're gonna book jobs and then have clients ask for completely different reads too. They don't always know what they want. And you know, you're gonna do a bad job on something and you're gonna book that one day. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Obviously, you wanna be on your best on most nights, and most of the time that's gonna work. Don't overthink about it. You do the best audition you can and you move on. And comedy taught me that failure is just information. It's not personal. It's just data about what works and what doesn't. Most voice actors take rejection personally and let it affect their confidence. But comedy taught me to treat every no as one step closer to yes. So important. Get your no's out of the way. Get closer to yes. How do you apply these lessons if you've never done stand-up and you never want to do stand-up? I don't blame you. It's terrifying. First, study rhythm. Listen to great commercials and notice the pacing. Where do they speed up? Where do they slow down? Where are the pauses? Second, practice commitment. Take a boring script and find a way to genuinely care about it. Don't just read it, believe it. Third, work on your timing. Record yourself reading the same script with different pacing. Maybe go faster, maybe go slower, maybe break it up a bit, make it dynamic. Notice how changing the rhythm changes the meaning as well. Fourth, Cuatro. Embrace the pause. Don't be afraid of silence. Use it strategically to build anticipation or let important points land. Let the script breathe. Silence is great. Shows confidence. Fifth, get comfortable with failure. Every audition is practice. Every rejection is information. Keep going. And by the way, you get bonus points if you actually want to try comedy. Go find a local open mic place. It's usually free to do. And sometimes they charge you like $5 and they're guarantee you get up, but just pay it. Just go. Get up on stage and just fucking bomb. Go up there and suck until you don't suck anymore. And that's probably going to make your voiceovers way better. Just the process of doing that, writing your own jokes and trying to deliver them on stage, that'll make you a way better voice actor. It really will. I can't explain it. And it'll be a hell of a rush too. I challenge you. Let me know in the comments if you want to try stand-up. And look, you don't actually need to do stand-up comedy to be a great voice actor. Of course not. But understanding these principles, timing, rhythm, commitment, one-person connection, that will all make you better at voiceover. The voice actors who book consistently aren't just the ones with the best voices. They're the ones who understand how to connect with an audience, how to find the rhythm in copy, and how to make every word count. See the pregnant pause there? If you want to learn more about applying these principles to voiceover, if you want to understand the business side of building a voice acting career, check out VoiceOver School in the links below. And again, drop a comment. Have you ever done any kind of performance work, any stand-up? If you have, do you think it helped you with voiceover? Maybe you're a singer. I don't know. Maybe you're a dancer. Let me know in the comments. Did you find that helped you with voiceover as well? I want to know. Also, are you guys interested in learning more about stand-up comedy? You know, I've been thinking about doing it. I've been wanting to do some videos about how to actually write jokes, but it's primarily a voiceover channel. So I don't know. Do you guys want to learn how to do some stand-up, even just as a hobby? It's pretty rewarding, and you know, it's buckets of fun when you're not doing it professionally. When money is involved, it's harder. And you know, especially in these days, with the age of AI, people are craving real live interaction. And I think comedy is one of the best ways to do it. And I think there's gonna be a huge resurgence of it. That's it. That's the end of this video. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more voiceover/comedy content. And remember, don't just read copy, perform it to one person. Peace.